Zambia, formerly the British colony of Northern Rhodesia, boasts many cultural festivals. Every year in the month of February, Ngonis reunite to celebrate their heritage, the Nc'wala festival. Sheltered by the rolling Kapata Hills lies Chipata, a busy little town, the capital of the eastern province of Zambia.
Zambia.
Visiting Chipata the last week of February, one will feel the Nc'wala fever. People are in the mood for a big dance. Streets are crowded with people, some dressed in animal skins, practicing dancing for the Nc'wala ceremony.
Nc'wala utanthauza kuti uno February miezi ya Ngoni yofisama mshatini mwaona mungu mvimasekera kupanga nkhondo anali kulanda ng'ombe za bantu khumba mbuzi kupha inu na ine kusiya bajanyamata na basikana azimayi wokaramba anali kupha nda anali kuziwa kuti mmene machokera inu kumzimba mngaziwe kuti otikanda na minyendo tiendele kulilongwe tizachitateri kumpoto kapena titendele pamundazi tizatere kupita kumpoto koma akakhala asikana okanyamata ngati sana ende saziwa charuba sasowa chifukwa chakanali kupha wokaramba kusiya anyamata na asikana kuti bakwatirane mutundu uyende pasokolo inali kisimisi yawo ya Ngoni akalanda chimanga cha pamunda na zoeta zawo iwo bamanga basa kuti anivauka kana ali na zida zawo induku na mkondo na chishango ni zida zawo zitatu na zovala zawo chishutu na mangengeza na vitewani manja akamba kuti tachiwa pora samivi.
The Ngoni people of Zambia trace their origins from the Zulu people of KwaZulu-Natal in South Africa. In the early 19th century, a period of political instability known as Mfikane in southern Africa saw the rise of the Zulu nation under Shaka Zulu. Nguni warriors were fleeing from Shaka Zulu, the famously gifted emperor, starting to migrate from South Africa northward. Under the leadership of their Nguni chief Zwangendaba in 1818, the Nguni left their home Zululand, today's northern Natal. Zwangendaba led followers north through Zimbabwe, where Mzilikazi and his people, the Ndebele, remained. In 1835, they crossed the Zambezi River near Zumbo, where they experienced the eclipse of the sun. On the way north, they crossed the area which is now called Lundazi district in Zambia, moving further to Mazimba district and the Pia Plateau, passing through today's Karonga district in Malawi. In this region, the Ngonis established states, using Shaka Zulu warfare techniques of conquering and integrating the resident local tribes such as the Nzenga, Jiva, Tumbuka, Biza and Fika. 10 years later, in 1845, Zwangendaba reached parts of present-day Matema district in southern Tanzania, Songea. Shortly afterwards, Zwangendaba died. Fighting over his succession, the Nguni warriors split into 5 groups. The first group, under Chief Ngundoyi, migrated northward and settled on the western shore of Lake Victoria. Zulu Gama led the second group into southeast Tanzania. Zwangendaba's youngest son, Belva I, travelled south into Malawi and settled at Mwiri in 1852. His two older half-brothers, Mpezeni I and Umperembi I, migrated together westward into Zambia near Lake Bangweolo. On their way they were defeated a few times by the Bemba tribe, upon which Mpenzeni and Umperembi decided to separate. Umperembi and his warriors returned to Malawi, following Belva's footprints, establishing in present-day Mazimba district. Mpezeni quickly left the Bemba homeland and resorted to peaceful settlement bordering the tribal homelands of the Lala and Nzengi for some years in 1860. 10 years later, Mpezeni left and led his group into eastern Zambia, settling permanently in today's Chipata district. From 1870 until 1898, Ngoni tribal life and culture flourished there. The Nc'wala ceremony was banned by the British colonial administration to eradicate Ngoni militarism and hegemony. Although Northern Rhodesia was granted independence from Britain in 1964, it took 85 years for the Nc'wala ceremony to revive in 1980 by the paramount chief of the Ngoni tribe, Nkosi Yamakosi Mpezeni III. A story is told that when Mpezeni III wanted to revive the Nc'wala, it was imperative to consult people who'd attended the last Nc'wala around 1898. Fortunately for him, there was one old man still alive who provided the information pertaining to the activities which surrounded the Nc'wala. Unfortunately, Mpezeni III died 1 year later in June 1981. Still mourning his death, there was no Nc'wala festival in 1982, when his son, Mpezeni IV, succeeded his father in the same year. The latter's enthronement, though, was a colourful festival of its own. The following year, in the last week of February 1983, the Nc'wala festival was resumed and performed annually since then up to now. The festival lasts for 3 days. The ceremony, though associated with the victorious tribe of the Ngoni people, is a thanksgiving ceremony to God for good rains and abundant harvest. On the first day, a small group of warriors, called impis, collect the first fruits of the season outside the village Mtenguleni, southwest of Chipata. To be picked is mbunda, a gourd or cucumber-like plant that is eaten before or after the main course of a meal, and sweet sorghum stalks, an indicator of much water during the rainy season. Today's chief of Mtenguleni village, Nkosi Matsimawe, is travelling with his impis and village people to present these first fruits on behalf of all Ngoni people to Mpezeni IV at Feni Palace. In the old days, the journey from Mtenguleni village to Feni Palace took 2 days on foot. Nowadays, the villagers board a bus or truck for this 1-hour trip via Chipata town. However, Chief Matsimawe often faces logistics problems as transport in Africa is always scarce. Nkosi Gogo Matsimawe is travelling with his impis and village people from Mtenguleni via Chipata to Feni Palace, some 50 kilometers, to present the first fruits. After that, Paramount Chief Mpezeni and all warriors, women and village people travel back the same way in a procession to his Laweni dormitory at Kampala village, Mtenguleni. The villagers truly enjoy the bus ride, chanting, clapping and singing to get into the right Nc'wala mood.
Mutengula siyambe kuzambezi, mutengula siyambe kuzambezi, siwateka umnyama we, umnyama we, ikiripisi abangoni.
Meanwhile, at Feni Palace, women, impis and their regiments from nearby villages gather there, entertaining themselves as well as the chief inside the palace. The palace guards welcome Matsimawe's party, pretending to fight against them, commemorating glorious warfare and conquests of the past. Using sticks, women beat a dried cow's hide, called Ngupu, the only drum during the whole Nc'wala festival. Matsimawe, together with Iduna Kazambamlopa carrying the fruits, make their way to Feni Palace. In front of the palace, women, led by the praise singer Lasam Zimba, call for Mpezeni IV to come out. Today, it's estimated that over 1 million people of eastern Zambia listen to Radio Breeze FM. Gogo, Grandfather Breeze, the most famous reporter of the local radio station, covers and records their long-ignored folklore, music and traditions. Mpezeni, Nkosi Yamakosi, means the ruler of rulers, king of kings, dressed in a lion's skin, stands on a leopard skin, symbols of authority. The process of tasting the food is called mulumo. The mulumo is regarded as the most solemn occasion of the year for the Nkosi Yamakosi and his subjects. On this occasion, the Ngoni ruler becomes the medium of the direct communication between the royal ancestors and the Ngoni tribe.
Wena inkosi yamakhosi uyachaphuza amazina amasibatamkana uyari wenu nabathana kwenu wena obusho wezintandayo Kamuzu utshelwa tiye katawu Wait inkosi yamakhosi Wait inkosi yamakhosi
Festival chairman Mr. Nc'wala and Chief Matsimawe are giving final instructions for the party's return to Metenguleni. Instructions and rules are followed in a rather lenient way, adapting to modern transport facilities. Vehicles available carry the paramount chief, sometimes dressed in lion skin, sometimes wearing casual Western clothes, and form a cortege of cars. The car drive takes the chief through bush and farmland, enabling him to look at the crops in the fields. Sometimes a luxury car with an open canopy is provided, with the chief waving at cheering crowds lining the streets of Chipata. Upon arrival at Metenguleni, all the chiefs with their regiments welcome the Nkosi under the kacheri tree, dancing and singing, reciting poetry, wielding shields, spears and knobkerries, to the rhythm of stomping feet and the clang of ankle-tied shakers, locally called mangengeza. In the shade of its vast canopy, the Nkosi regularly meets with his people. Conflicts among them will be solved, major events discussed, and when Mpezeni IV eventually dies, a new chief will be elected under the kacheri tree. This particular kacheri tree was already here when Mpezeni I decided to settle in Metenguleni. Mpazini is entering his temporary dormitory, called Laweni, in Kampala village, where he sleeps for 2 nights during the ceremony. For the past few years, street vendors and gamblers have tried to take advantage of the crowd to make business. The second day of the Nc'wala festival features Ngoma dancers from different chiefdoms entertaining the Nkosi Yamakosi and his invited guests at his house Laweni residence at Mtengoleni all day long. Lasam II, the praise singer, takes the researcher Professor Soko from Mazuzu University in Malawi to a local bookshop in Chipata town to show him a publication on the Nc'wala festival by Machakaza Lucero, a student and researcher trained by the sociology professor John Barnes of the University of Cambridge. Lasam II is very proud, showing the image of his father, the late praise singer Izibongo, Mr. Lasamu Zimba I, during the Nc'wala ceremony. Sometimes heavy rains interrupt the dancing, forcing dancers and visitors to seek shelter. Nevertheless, the Nc'wala mood goes on, in shops, restaurants and on the verandas. Being away from the Nkosi Imakosi's residence, other types of dances attract spectators, such as a Vimbuza dancer, just for fun. Despite heavy rains, some dancing groups excitingly continue their performances.
Listening to Breeze 99.6 FM, transmitting from Chipata town. It's good to know that you're part of us today. My name is Martha Zulu, and today we're looking at the culture, specifically the Ngoni culture. And in the studio, I have a visiting professor, This is Professor Boston Soko from Kamuzu University in Malawi. Professor Soko, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Martha.
Professor, what brings you here?
First, foremost is that I am Ngoni myself, so I have to be part of the ceremony. Secondly, Mpezeni Kingdom is the only one which has preserved the culture of Nc'wala in Central Africa. So we come to learn what you are doing here. At least we keep in touch with the Ngoni culture, which is live in Zambia.
As soon as the rains are over, dancing is resumed in front of Mpezeni IV.
Do you think the culture is still what it was?
I think you have preserved the culture.
Derived from the Ngoni verb ukugia, to perform a war dance, Izigio means war dance, danced by a single person. A young boy displays a fine example of this war dance, showing off ostentatiously. In the pre-colonial days, the Ngoni impressed the village people, especially girls and women, as well as their leader, the Nkosi Yamakosi, by this dance prior to their setting out and upon their return from a military campaign. This war dance, Izigio, allowed the single warrior hero to break away from the mass of soldiers. It gave him the opportunity of asserting his daring individuality in public and upon returning, the chance to praise himself by telling the story of his success in war.
Bambo Kiziwano. Ineyo ndine Soko, Boston Soko, professor wa French ku Kamuzu University.
Zikomo kwambiri Bambo Soko, ine ndine George Mwanza, chairman general wa Nc'wala Ceremony. Tima chita zinchito zochita kuika bantu pamozi, kupasana maganizo yosiyana. Maganizo yake niyo kuza chikonzero cha mwambo watu wa Nc'wala. Tikara pamozi na mafumu na zinduna zao na wantu wamba cha bazimai ndiyazi Bambo kuti tiyangane kodi mwambo watu tinga usunge mjira yanji, tinga uyendese mjira yanji, nanga vana watu tinga wapunzise bwanji kuti naonse waziwe za mwambo umenewo. Nc'wala ni chikondwerero cha mwambo wa Chingoni. Chikondwerero ichi chikumbusa Ngoni pamene anali kumenya na nkhondo ndi anthu a mitundu yosiyana pa ulendo wawo wochokera ku ziko la South Africa kubwera chakuno kumpoto. Ndiponso pamene anali kumenya na nkhondo imeneyi anagonjesa mitundu yosiyana. Sipono chifukwa cha kugonjesa mitundu yosiyana, mwambo umenewu amakumbukira ungwazi wawo Ngoni umene anaonesa pa kugonjesa mitundu yosiyana nthawi imene anali kumenya na nkhondo. Pamene tinali na Mpezeni 1 pamene tafika kuno kumenya na nkhondo na mitundu imene tinapeza kuno. Potera tinamenya nkhondo Ngoni na British. Sipano pamene a British wagonjesa Ngoni, pamene wanalesa mwambo uyu kuti ya isitinga kuloleni kuti mupitirize, chifukwa ngati mupitiriza na mwambo uyu nkhondo sizatha vanachita mantha kuti mwina nkhondo singathe apo tikali na mpezeni 1 kuyambisaso mwambo wamene uyu ni inkosi ya makosi Paramount Chief mpezeni 3 kwa inkosi Mberwa na inkosi ya makosi mpezeni vabadwe nyumba imozi.
Under the mighty Kacheri tree, a local band, playing on self-made instruments, performs songs of the famous Zimbabwean musician Oliver Mtukudzi. The festivities are accompanied by a program of events like a golf tournament or music concerts.
Good evening, Chipata. We're also very happy to see, we've been able to see the Nc'wala ceremony. What a wonderful cultural heritage being preserved by the Zambians. We admire you. It's so beautiful to see Africans embracing their culture.
It brings all the people of the same clan together at a certain point in time, like this time. The other thing is it acts as education to the small people, small kids that are just growing up now, who are going to patronage this tradition in future when we go. The other point is this function, to me, the way I have looked at it, the way I've seen it, it's a unifying function because those that only heard about the Ngoni culture, today they are here. And that they have seen what is happening here, are getting interested, more and more interested, and they would want to interact with the Ngoni people, thereby making friendship with other people in different clans. So that is what I would say the significance of this. Well, as I said earlier on, the future generation, if you have seen around, you have seen that in all traditional groups that come in, they've got young ones. So the way forward is we would want all the young generations to come forward. They have to accept this is their culture if we have to sustain it.
One of the major positive changes in the past 5 years is that the Ngoni have started to teach their children Ngoni traditional values, Ngoni language and dances, which was pleasant to observe in 2008. The Ngoma dancers, beautifully dressed in leopard, wildcat or goat skin, carrying shield, knobkerrie and spears, compete with one another for the best dance and performance. In the morning, dancing continues. A tent is set up to protect Mpuzeni IV and his guests from the rain and sun. Professor Sokol greets Belva, half-brother to Mpuzeni IV. The throne is placed in the vehicle to be taken to the main arena at Mtenguleni. Praise singers pay respect to Nkosi Yamakosi and the ancestors. They speak in Ngoni, a language derived from Old Zulu. Today the Ngoni speak Nc'wala, the language of the people they conquered.
Umhlaba wazo wabaleka izinyoka zonke ingwenyama konke utshani izintaba zaza zabanyikanyika bakusaba wena wadawula lizwe wazo kwafika egologodela bethe mgwenyama
The Nkosi Yamakosi leaves for the main arena on foot. Women and men accompany him, forming a rather wild, warlike procession for 1.5 kilometers to the main arena. On the actual day of the ceremony, the main arena is surrounded by the Ngoni Impis and Kuzini group, mainly comprising women who clap their hands to produce an indigenous African Ngoni rhythm for the Ngoma dance to take place. Entering the arena, warriors and Impis shout the old war cry, pretending to clear the ground of any potential enemy for the security of the paramount chief. Counteracting the Impi's traditional warlike performance, the festival's chairman, Mr. Nc'wala, starts to sing the national anthem of Zambia. His Excellency the President of Zambia, Mr. Nc'wala, studies the festival program. Local cultural festivals provide an interface between local communities and the state. At these festivals, local political elites formulate demands on the government, and conversely, the government attempts to popularize its policies. At the same time, the media, the government, and recently commercial companies use cultural festivals as public arenas. Mrs. Chilfire, Secretary General, is reading the speech on behalf of Nkosi Yamakosi, addressing his people.
Are able to communicate using the cell phone. Your commitment to national development should be extended in addressing the poor road network in the province. I'm glad that some attention is being paid to the greatest road now, but we hope that this will be hastened.
His Excellency the President of Zambia, Mr. Nc'wala, is being honored and decorated with Ngoni attire, shield and knobkerrie.
You are also being given a knobkerrie to fight, to defend yourself. I think this is what the Ikosamako is giving you, and he thinks you must be proud of him.
Since 2003, a huge ground next to the main arena provides food stalls, beer tents, African pop music and dancing. Market stands steadily grew over the past years for the enjoyment and excitement of visitors of all ages.
Oh no, people want condoms. There's a need for a lot of condoms because people have been educated and they really want to use them to safeguard themselves. No, we are giving health education on HIV and AIDS, nutrition, and the use of condoms. It's a big difference from what used to happen before. You know, a lot of people have involved themselves where they have to bring the message of HIV and AIDS. It's because a lot of people have learned and they're really taking care. Like this, we've distributed condoms as people still want more, and they're even saying it, no, we need to take care, we've heard, we've learned.
It is a place for enjoyment. It is a place that people should know each other. Now those who went there to expose themselves to immorality, It's very unfortunate. Many people go there, boys and girls meet there. Let's say if you want to get married, it's a place where someone can find a friend to be married to. It does help them to find the proper, the right candidate in marriage. Otherwise, if you don't go there, then you miss a chance.
President Wanawasa presents his gift to Nkosi Yamakosi, kneeling in respect according to Ngoni tradition. Others follow plentifully, presenting gifts to Umpazeni. Ngoni chiefs are said to favor those who flatter them, as they like receiving traditional gifts, uni yethulo, from their subjects.
Oh, okay. Well, we can't get there.
Since the revival of the Nc'wala festival in 1980, there have always been sponsors supporting the festival organizers. However, by contrast to the previous years, sponsorship by Celtel Zambia, the mobile telephone network service provider, has changed the festival character towards commercialization over the past 5 years. For instance, in the year 2008, Celtel has donated 15 million Zambian kwacha, equivalent to €6,000, to have their logo and name associated with the Nc'wala ceremony. Under the camouflage of supporting all major traditional ceremonies in Zambia, Celtel uses the arena as a platform for advertisements, forsaking its pure traditional character. With the support of Celtel, the Ngoni have started to build a permanent arena painted in Celtel's red branding and Celtel's popular slogan, "Making Life Better." Even the paramount chief in Nkosi ya Makosi Umpazeni 4 sits in front of Celtel's advertisement. Celtel is taking advantage of the Nc'wala festival to recruit customers, aiming to increase turnover and profit, as well as to become the leading mobile communications group in Zambia, using local faces that are known to the local people and villagers. The general manager of Celtel Zambia was not willing to be interviewed by the filmmakers discussing Celtel's devotion and commitment to preserving cultural heritage. One may fear that eventually, in a few years, the traditional ceremony's name will bear the sponsor's name. The climax of the ceremony is the ritual of slaughtering a bull known as the Nc'wala among the Ngoni people. The young bull is tied to a kacheri tree in the center of the main arena. A Ngoni warrior is assigned to spear the animal. It's believed that the spearman, Lukezo, assumes powers acquired during a month of sexual abstinence. He's supposed to stab only once for the bull to die immediately. The Ngoni Impi presents the fresh blood from the animal on a plate known as Nc'wala to the paramount chief, who drinks the blood in full view of the people. Warriors from all the kraals celebrate together and close the ceremony.
Mwanene mwe